But there is a professor in Belgium, his name is Arnold de Loef, and he decided after a lot of study to try to determine what the definition of life is. He decided, based on his research, that life, contrary to what you and I might think, life being a thing, a noun, he believes that life is an action, a verb. And so his definition of life is that life is the communication, the sum of communications of any organism or anything. And those communications or attempts to problem solve, as humans often do in their communications, defines life. I have a difficulty with ending that definition of life right there, because if you have two rocks and they roll down a valley on each side and they come down to the bottom of the valley and hit each other, one rock is going to react to the other rock and vice versa. There's an action that occurs. So is that life? Do you have two objects that are communicating with each other, in other words, reacting to the other? Is that communication? And if it is, therefore, do we have living organisms as rocks? So that what I find is these rocks, the question is, are their actions performed with some type of an intent? Do these rocks roll down the hill and hit each other at the bottom of the valley with an intent to do so? And in general, we would say no, there's no intent there. So the rocks are not living organisms. So by definition, I propose that life is communications with intent. If there's no intent, then that thing doesn't have life. It doesn't exhibit life. Now there's one other thing to consider here. How do we know that the rocks aren't living? How do we know that there wasn't an intent for these rocks to move downhill and hit each other in the bottom? Because gravity is an effect that we observe here on Earth, and Earth's gravity and the sun's gravity, they react to each other as the Earth orbits the sun, and the sun is orbiting the center of the galaxy, and the galaxy is orbiting around some center of mass about these local galaxies in a large area of space, and it's very possible that the entire universe is rotating around some center as well. So at any scale, we have these rotations happening, these movements, and they're very similar at whatever scale we're looking at. So if we go back down to our rocks that are by gravity are moving downhill, is there an intent to have gravity as one of the principal features that we notice on a large object such as the Earth, where we're held down to the Earth significantly as a result of gravity, as are those rocks? So is there an intent there? I would propose we really don't know. So we have to keep open to the possibility that all energy throughout the universe, all matter, which is a type of energy, are possibly living indications of life. And therefore, that would suggest the entire universe is alive. We just haven't recognized that there's an intent. Although shamans, priests, and priestesses for thousands of years have identified an intent to communicate with a shaman through visionary experiences. And it's difficult to prove that there's an intent there, but they come back and relay this information to us as if there was an intent for information to be provided to them and one interacting with the vision. Okay, so that's important from a communication standpoint, understanding what life is, because to me it's communication is fundamental in that in that definition. So if we look now at the sacred sphere and try to summarize what the sacred sphere is all about based on what I've discussed here this afternoon with you, I want to just quickly summarize that in something towards the end of the book. And this is in the last chapter of the book. More than anything else, the sacred sphere represents unity. It is the source of the mystic's contemplative esotericism, the artisan's inspiration, the geometrician's metrics of the world, the mathematician's model of the universe, and the shaman's conception of truth. Each experiences life, identifies patterns, and interprets the data. But it's all the same data. It's the same energy events, seen from different perspectives. Free will colors our perspective. It can lengthen or shorten our journey through life. It can enlighten us, and it can leave us in the dark. We can choose the narrow and difficult red road or the wide and easy black road. At the end of the road, however, we discover that we are all the same, and the journey begins again. I feel very strongly that this is the purpose of the sacred sphere, to relay to us symbolically that each of us is a part of a greater whole, and all of humanity is a part of the universe, unity. And that unity is exhibited throughout space and time, or space-time. And it is vital for us at this time to realize that we are a part of unity. We are connected with everything else in the universe. And this is the importance of the sacred sphere and the information I am providing to you today as one of the vital pieces of the puzzle in understanding who we are and why we are here on Earth today.